Now, you've personally seen some of this happening, in the sense that, I mean, obviously you lived in different parts of the world, and you've seen this, drugs and alcohol. Which do you think is the greater problem, drugs or alcohol?
Well, I think they're both. You know, the impact of alcohol is probably greater. There's greater damage in the society worldwide. Drugs, because alcohol is a drug. So when we say drugs and alcohol, we're really taking alcohol out of the category of drugs.
Isn't there a subtle difference? Like, one is very much underground and the other one is openly advertised.
Yeah, this is the problem. Because by people making a distinction between drugs and alcohol, you know, it's like alcohol is the drug which is okay, but we just need to control it. But
okay.
Yeah, but is it really? You know, it falls together in the same bag. It is something which Islam prohibited 1,400 years ago without any recourse. You know, there's no exception in here. You know, we don't have what they call, you know, we could say socially acceptable social drinking, for example. No.
The term exists.
The term exists, but from an Islamic perspective, it is definitely out, because the evil of alcohol and drugs in general is so great that Islam forbade it outright.
Exactly. You know? So looking for a solution, you said it can be solved at the school level with the national curriculum and so on. What role do parents play, you think?
Well, of course, you know, education of parents through the television, you know, programs which can give them a better understanding of the roots of the problem and understand, you know, their own religion in itself, and give them guidance as to how to handle it. Because of course, oftentimes parents who find their children addicted don't know how to respond. I mean, it's, you know, what do you do? This person is caught up in this way, and usually oftentimes the reaction is violent, or, you know, and it doesn't make it any better, it just makes it worse.
Exactly.
You know, so, I mean, there needs to be drug rehabilitation programs which are firmly in place, bringing in people who are trained. You know, and this is where I even suggested to some who mentioned this to me that, you know, there are people in America, Muslims, who work in the prisons and work in drug rehabilitation, you know, who can come and you know, be sensitive to the fact that this is a Muslim country, because bringing people who are involved in drug rehabilitation who have no consciousness about Islam, I mean, they may be introducing things which, you know, on one hand it may be benefiting, on the other hand we may be also creating further harm, you know.
Side effects of the pill, as it were.
Yes. So it is important that, you know, where they may rely more on counter drugs, methadone and these other things as a solution, where from an Islamic perspective we don't try to take them from one drug to another drug, we try to take them off the drug altogether. You know, so differences in approach would require that we try to get experts who are from Islamic backgrounds, so that we have a culturally sensitive program, you know. And then of course, you know, even on the highest levels, one has to now rethink and relook at, you know, how drugs are handled, you know, on a state level. This has to be looked at also. That perhaps they have to put more curbs, etc., you know, to protect this society from its harm.
So it'll have to be a blanket thing, like nip them at the source, while at the same time make sure that you create less demand, perhaps.
And educate.
And that it all takes us back to the issue of our faith in our Creator. Everything.
Yes.
Basically. So that's it, whether it's drugs or any other problem.
Sure, social, otherwise. But we know that ultimately there is a solution, because Islam does have the solution for all of these problems. And that is the thing which attracted me most, and made me want to become a Muslim, was the comprehensiveness of Islam, where nothing is left out. You know, no aspect of human life is untouched by Islamic teachings.
My brother, you have touched all of us this evening. So thank you very much for having been with us. It's been a pleasure, and we have a great tradition in this country of welcoming our guests here. So once again, welcome to the Maldives, and thank you so much for having enlightened us this evening, and hopefully we'll see you again next week. Thank you so much.
My pleasure to be here, and I really appreciate the opportunity to share. And Maldives has been very, very excellent hosts for me, and the welcome that I have received here, I can hardly find another country that has welcomed me as the Maldives has.
Thank you once again. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for spending some of your time with us this evening. Hope to see you next week. My name is Wahid. See you soon. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.